Hi, I'm Jess. Welcome back to my channel, Chilling Like a Villain. This is my November wrap-up. In the month of November, I did okay. I read 5 books and did not finish 2 books, but the amount of pages that I read of those 2 books kind of counts as another book. So, surprisingly, it's for 2 physical books that I didn't finish. The first book I did not finish is Me and Mr. Darcy by Alexandra Potter. I did not like this book. I really like books that are based around Jane Austen and Jane Austen's works. So this book follows an American woman on a Jane Austen tour around England that meets Mr. Darcy. That sounds like something I would love, but I hated it. I hated it so much. The main woman was so annoying and just kept making really stupid decisions, like sleeping in a museum where you're not allowed to sleep and all this dumb stuff. And the Americanisms really annoyed me because normally I can deal with it, but she kept repeating names of shops and names of biscuits that is normal to me as an English person, but to her seemed like some kind of mystical language, and it was just weird. The next book I didn't finish is A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness, and I was so disappointed with myself because I only got 160 pages in and it was just so boring. I have heard that the book gets better if you get through the beginning, but I just wasn't willing to commit to a 3-book series where they're all that big when it was so boring. And I was really disappointed because the cover is like beautiful and it sounded like something that I would really like, and I really wanted to read it, which is why I read it quite quickly after buying it. But oh gosh, no, I'm not. I mean, it's like what, 700 pages, so I'm just not down with that. But that's not to say that other people wouldn't like it. Some people love this series and they just adore it. It's about an American witch who stumbles upon a hidden manuscript that a lot of demons and vampires and magical people want. So it sounded great. The beginning actually started out really well, and I was really invested in the beginning because it was really beautiful writing. But then, no, it just dragged on for me personally, so I did not finish it. The next book I listened to on audiobook, and I'm really glad that I did because I actually included it in my favourite ever audiobooks video, which is on my channel. But it's The Secret Diary of Lizzie Bennet by Bernie Sue and Kate Rorick. The book is based on the YouTube series The Lizzie Bennet Diaries, and it follows a modern day Elizabeth Bennet from Pride and Prejudice, and it's essentially a modern retelling, and it's so wonderful. I just started rewatching the YouTube series after I read this book because it was so lovely, and it's narrated. The audiobook is done by Ashley Clements, who plays Lizzie in the YouTube series, so it was just perfect. Honestly, she's so good. She's such a good actress, so when you listen to it, it was wonderful. I gave it 4 stars. Because even though I've read Pride and Prejudice multiple times, it didn't feel like rereading it. It was just lovely, and yeah, I love seeing all the extra little bits that you don't get in the show. So 4 stars, highly recommend. Recommend the audiobook. I listened to another audiobook, which is A Madness So Discreet by Mindy McGuinness. I gave this 3.5 stars. I gave this 3 stars because there were parts that did drag a little, but overall it was a very good book. It was enjoyable, and it follows Grace, who is in a mental asylum in the 1900s, and she has a photographic memory, so she's hired by an investigator to help solve crimes. It was a really nice historical YA. It was quite dark, but it had some lovely moments as well. I think I'm going to try and do a book talk on this because I did quite like it. So, yeah, I recommend it. Then I read Odd and the Frost Giants by Neil Gaiman. This is just a short story. It's only like 94 pages, so you can read it like within a couple of hours. It's very quick, and it is for children. Or is it middle grade? Middle grade, I would say. And it centres around Odd, who is a young Viking boy who goes into the forest and meets a fox, a bear, and an eagle. And this is all to do with mythology and Norse mythology and gods, and he has to go help these animals. and it's just so cute and lovely. And it had illustrations by Brett Helquist, who did the Lemony Snicket illustrations, and it's just a really nice, fun, and enjoyable and clever. Because Neil Gaiman is always clever, and you can enjoy it at whatever age. I think I gave it 3 stars because that for me is like a solid book, a solid rating. Then I read Nicola and the Viscount by Meg Cabot. This is a historical Regency novel centering around Nicola, who gets engaged to a Viscount who may not be all what he seems, and has to navigate that engagement whilst also having feelings for another guy. Meg Cabot has written a few historical novels, one being Victoria and the Rogue, and unfortunately, because I'd read that one first, this one felt very similar to this one. It essentially follows the same plot line of being engaged to someone who isn't all what they seem, and then meeting another guy who kind of shows her this. But they were very similar, but they're both enjoyable. I think I enjoyed Victoria a little bit more, but this one is still a solid 3 stars, a solid book, because they're very cute and very quick, and I love Meg Cabot. I think she's really funny and smart, so I just want to read everything that she's written anyway. Then I read Jane Austen Stole My Boyfriend by Cora Harrison. I think in my haul, because I got this from the library, I think I called it Jane Austen Stole My Best Friend, but that isn't what it's called. It is called Jane Austen Stole My Boyfriend, and it is the sequel to I Was Jane Austen's Best Friend. These are middle grade books centering around Jenny and Jane Austen. They are cousins, and it's just them as teenagers and their adventures, and it is middle grade, but they're very cute and very easy to read. And I think I gave it 3 stars, solid 3 stars. I think I left it too long between reading the 2 books to really enjoy it that much, but no, it was good. I do recommend the duology. Then I listened to the audiobook of Walk on Earth a Stranger by Ray Carson. This follows Lee, a young girl in the gold rush era of America who can scent gold. This one, I did enjoy it. I think I gave it 3.5 stars because it was enjoyable. I really liked Lee and it was written very well, but I think that I was just expecting a little more to actually happen within the book. I understand why it was very hyped up, and I do want to continue with the series and read Ray Carson's other writings, but for me, the plot meandered a little bit and it dragged in some parts. It was essentially a road trip book over American land to California, but I didn't think I knew that it was just a road trip book and then it would end where you have to read the next one to read the rest of it. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. But it was good. I'll read the rest. So, that was my November wrap up. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.